But okay, Sam, should we start with this first tweet by Glenn Greenwald?
Sure, sure.
So I told you I like half understood this tweet. I still
Oh,
found
yeah,
it
okay.
funny. I found Sam Seder's part funny. Aaron Maté was funny, although I didn't really know who the gentleman is, who Michael is. So you're gonna explain that a bit. But yeah, guys, you can see the tweet is flashing on the screen right now. So Sam Seder has been sat sacking around various online and cable platforms for 15 years, spouting liberal platitudes and serving the Democratic Party while earning his living from Google. And this is the first reporting he ever did in his life, a real blockbuster. Congrats, Sam. I mean, I don't know if Sam's being, even without understanding the issue, was funny, but yeah, let me just read Sam's tweet.
I mean,
Today,
look,
Majority Report received a phone
yeah, go
call
ahead.
from Con College student who claims he interacted with Michael Tracy and has since tested positive for COVID. He claims he informed Michael. Michael, can you confirm? So I think to be fair to Sam Seder, as you would like to say, he's mocking the guy, right? Because I watched the video a bit. It's kind of like this guy who shows up on campus and starts saying, "You do a better job. Go ahead."
No, no. I mean, I don't want to take any sides on this,
Yeah.
but I would say everybody here is quite being funny. Even
Yeah, even
and
Aaron
I
Mattis being funny. I mean, he's been super
no,
funny.
Aaron Maté, I
He's
think
been
after
funny.
his Cenk impression has proven his sort of funny bone
Comedian.
skills. Yeah, his comedian skills has been revealed. But Sam Cedar, whom I really don't like his style and all that. But
Yeah,
I don't know what exactly has happened. But Michael Tracy, who's a former contributor to TYT, who sort of had a big fallout with them after he left Russia Gate, all the type of Jimmy Dore shit. He's gone to this, I believe it's Connect, Connecticut, Connecticut.
yeah. I just
What's
said
that?
Con College, but because I
Conne-
didn't know what it's like, because
Co-
it's acronym here.
Connect,
Connecticut.
Connect,
It's a hard word for us to
Connect.
say.
Yes, yes.
I can never name it.
I'm
Yeah, can never
sorry,
pronounce
my
it.
brain just, yeah. Yeah, yes, that's a university located within that location you mentioned. And there he I mean, I went to their Twitter stuff. He claims that they're using corona contact tracing uh to surveil people, and it's sort of a war on terror situation,
Yeah,
and but the video seemed kind of ridiculous. Students were making fun of him. He had a weird thing in his hand. So I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I do think Sam Cedar was being funny there, I think.
yeah.
But when Glenn, whoever dunks on Sam Cedar, that's funny. So that's automatically funny. But I think Aaron Maté I think you should read that. That's just the best
Yeah,
part,
so
I
the
think.
Aaron Matter part. Glenn, be careful. Sam might challenge you to debate. Everyone's scared of debating Sam, according to Sam.
According to I love that part because Sam Cedar is always going on
Yeah.
about like why Steven Crowder doesn't debate me, or why that person doesn't invite me on their show, or why that I don't know if you've seen that, or he tries to put like force people into debating him. And I just, yeah, and I love the star according to Sam.
Yeah.
It's just,
No, no,
that's
no. Iron Man is too funny, but
but yeah,
yeah, I
but on
mean,
the whole substance of the matter, I have no opinion on, because it's just so many contradictory
yeah.
information. So I don't know what the fuck is going on in that college. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I watched a little bit of Sam's video, Sam Seder's video. Apparently, it's not that it changes much, but it's a tiny college. Apparently, we're speaking of like 2 to 3 thousand students, not even. So for the US, that's like a that's like a department at best. That's like yeah, that's
It's like
nothing.
same people live on my street, same number of, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a big state, so it makes sense if their university is not that big.
No, yeah. I mean, not that it makes anything
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do okay, or
yeah.
we just don't know. That's all.
Exactly. No, it's just funny. Exactly. These three tweets are funny without even understanding the content.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of
Yes,
background, a
that's
little bit of
true. Yeah.
background makes it funny. But yeah,
So,
Aaron Matter, the
yeah.
comedian there.
Yeah.
Buzzsaw Aaron. Okay, should we move on to the next tweet?
Sure.
Okay, so
I don't,
this
yeah.
one is by Paula Jean Swearingen, which
Oh,
I don't know too much about her except she took part on the recent in the protests that they were doing at Capitol
she
Hill.
she was a Justice Democrat candidate
Mm,
that ran against somebody famous. They ran and they did a lot of things, and but she lost by a tiny margin, I think, or a small margin relatively. And then recently she's gone to the whole Nick Brana, Jimmy
yeah,
Dore stuff, saying that Justice Democrats are sellouts and they didn't support and all that. So yeah, all right, okay. I didn't know
yeah,
she's back in the news. All right.
yeah. I
But
guess she
I
was
saw her on Jimmy Dore or something.
exactly. She was with. I think she was with Nick Brana on recent Jimmy Dore episode. So they were doing a protest, um, to at the Capitol Hill because the eviction moratorium was over. So the people from the People's Party were there. And I kind of just wanted to use this tweet to bring up something I heard on the Jimmy Dore episode. So when members of Congress occupy our nation's Capitol steps, they get sound systems and get to dance. When ordinary people do this, is the welcome we get. We can't even use bullhorns. So based on what
By the way,
Nick,
wait. Bullhorn, as in the ones they use in war to go.
yeah, I
Is
guess, or
that a
something similar.
bullhorn?
Well,
Am
I mean, I
I
don't.
think?
I think that, yeah, well, similar. I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing something like that. But yeah, pretty
No,
much
I
because I was
just
listening,
interesting choice of words.
and it's not surprising what I'm going to tell you. It's just like a nice little piece of detail. But apparently, so Nick Brana and the others who were on Jimmy Dore show, they were saying that they found out to the police officers that when Cori Bush and AOC they were protesting there, the reason they were allowed to like sit down and relax and be there for days is because, or yeah, be there for however long they were, while relaxing is because they had a special permission from Congress, whereas they didn't have that permission. And so they weren't allowed to bring chairs or anything to sit down. And apparently, if they just shut their eyes for a second, they could get arrested. So they were just talking about, which, like I said, I mean, it's not surprising. While members of Congress get different, different treatment, but it's just like a small way of how they make life hell for people, for different kind of people protesting, which was like a nice little detail I thought that came out of that. So yeah, they weren't really able to protest in the same way. The pictures of Cori Bush, she looked, nice and relaxed compared to that. So yeah, I just wanted to use the tweet to bring that up.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I'm sure this is not gonna be very popular, but I must say I'm not really surprised. Like
I didn't say
they are
surprised.
members.
Yeah.
No, I know, but they're members of Congress, and that's Congress. So of course they're not as much of a security risk as some just random people showing up.
But I mean, it's not
And
random people. I'm sure for protests, you still get other permits and all this. It's not like that random, but I guess there are different levels
no,
that members
they
of
get
Congress, not surprisingly, can obtain.
yeah,
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 not
and
so.
yeah, it's easier for them to get big better. And yeah, if look, if like I don't like understand like if the real change comes through difficult like even the 1960s civil rights movement, which I don't think has been as effective as it's been made out to be, like protests, like real protests are tend to they tend to
Yeah,
not
no,
be
for
very
sure.
nice,
And I
let's
mean,
say.
they're just pointing out so people, maybe those who don't know, maybe they like understand their different ways and just understand the different layers of the system. Not everything doesn't make as much sense, or not everybody knows everything already, like you would do, or so it doesn't seem surprising. But I get your point.
You do make me sound like douchebag.
But
Not
I
at all,
understand your
but
point.
okay.
That's why I tried not to blow it out of proportion because I knew that's why
I
I
feel like
chose
you
my words
did.
very carefully. But yeah, it was the main part of what
No,
I
fair
found.
enough. Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
I just okay.
on that.
Sure. Sure.
But you're right, protests have never been easy. But I mean, it's kind of funny how if you can't really bring like chairs and stuff to protest, but like if you want to go wait outside a store like overnight for like the new release of a shoe or iPhone or stuff, you can't like camp out there like nice
So,
and easy,
yeah.
comfortably.
Well, that's not
No,
putting
it's
capitalist interest at risk.
yeah, I know
That's why.
exactly. I know.
But I would say I do feel like if I was the cops and stuff, I would say just let them protest. Why do you care? Like it's not gonna let them sleep, whatever, man. Just whatever. Just
If people were like
I
that,
would
then that
just
would
let
be
them do
good.
whatever. It
Then we
would be
wouldn't be having
even
this
better for
conversation.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's all bad press, and if they sleep there, do you think anything will change? Just let them sleep there
But okay, let's move on.
or
Let's move on.
dance.
So let's keep this going. Okay, so the next tweet, this will give us a chance to talk about the California election
Oh
in
yeah,
probably a
that
fun
was
way.
interesting.
So Kyle Kalinske pointed out that Caitlyn Jenner had a strong showing with 1% of the vote in the Cali governor race. But if you're telling me there were like 40 candidates, you were telling me this, that there were like dozens and dozens of candidates.
More than 40,
Wow, yeah. So I'm not
46 or
surprised.
more.
But I mean, I knew for sure this. I mean, I don't even know if this is the end of it. Maybe she wants to run in like a real election at some point, Caitlyn
This
Jenner.
was a, I mean, it seems to have been a clear, it was a documentary thingy. Like there was a crew going around with her. She's probably going to sell it to Netflix or Hulu or something. So it was a reality show,
Man,
like thing. And
yeah, such a
like
yeah.
that's why, by the way, her campaign sank so badly because it became obvious that there was a crew going around with her, like recording everything. And, you know, like she's,
Such
I
a
don't know.
clown shit. I'm gonna try resist not watching it because really some people just
Yeah,
piss you
come
off. I
on.
don't know why. I mean, it could still be
Yeah, yeah.
entertaining.
I just no,
So,
I find her to be despiteful.
I mean, when you come
But
out and say that much hateful I mean, I don't know. Just when you come out and say so much hateful, when your politics are that hateful, sometimes I don't know. I just can't stand
your
it.
politics and your personality,
Yeah.
as at least what we've seen from reality shows, I
And
know
I
they're not
mean, she
real,
just
but
seemed like a caricature to stuff that she was saying. Like this one
I think she
example I told
murdered
you.
somebody with a car. I
Yeah.
genuinely, I think, no, I'm not
Yeah,
joking. I
I know
think she
back
had,
in the yeah, it's rarely talked
yeah,
about.
or it's,
But
I don't know. Yeah,
he seems
but
like she seems so out of touch. Like the other Kardashians are more careful not to be out of touch. Like in a campaign interview, she talked about like her
really, are
hangar.
they?
Like they wouldn't talk about the person who handles their jet. Like they don't take the
Oh,
conversation that far.
okay. I don't. I
Like
don't.
who says that? Like, nobody takes it that far. Like being
You
like,
know,
yeah, my
this guy, my new shoe licker, he just doesn't lick the last.
at
You
least
can't find a
normal
good shoe
people can
licker
be
these days.
like, I have shoes, so I kind of understand, but airplane, you're pushing it. Like we're not gonna really
Can you
bond over
believe
this
the?
conversation.
Can you believe the cost of a jet fuel these days? It's crazy, man. Government is not doing anything.
But yeah, anything to say about the
I
election besides her?
No, but it is. I think it's going to lead probably to some changes in Democratic, at least. Democrats going to push probably for some electoral changes in California because this election became under criticism for being extremely like the procedure of the fact that you have to first vote whether you agree with the recall or not, and then if then Gavin Newsom doesn't have enough votes, then it goes to the other candidates and then you vote for them. And there were problems with the mail ballots, that there were holes in them. You could see some people how they voted and all that. This was covered on The Hill, by the way. I'm not talking about the bullshit right-wing claims that mail-in ballot is bullshit. Those things are Larry Elder and Trump are both idiots, basically. So that was so that's probably one consequence. Another thing is that I don't think Democrats should be too happy about it because a lot of people said that people saw this as taking out the garbage, sort of just because they didn't want Larry Elder, who's a nut job, basically radio host, right wing, sort of crazy person, to get the job. So they voted for Gavin Newsom, who is basically the like embodiment of corporate Democrats. Like just, and by the way, Stephen Colbert, I think now that Trump has left office, is getting a bit more funnier again, and he did a great bit on Gavin Newsom,
Yeah.
and he's a speech trying to be I would do the joke, but I would fucking murder the joke. So really watch that. He talks about how Gavin Newsom tries to he gives a speech, and he talks about that the fact that these conspiracy theories about mail-in ballots, and he says democracy is not a football, it's a vase. And trying to be just like how just like how the guy,
Newsom is.
what's his name, the Jenner guy, tries to
Oh.
reach out to the common man through jet fuel cost. He was trying to talk about antique was as if it's a but yeah, so I don't think Democrats should be too happy about that, but it's still, he did manage to win California, so
Yeah.
that's good.
No, not too bad. And I mean, I guess I'd never even believed in this, and anyway, and this is like a governor election, but so I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But any kind of backlash that Biden would get from like his Afghanistan withdrawal, I mean, I don't believe
Foreign
in that. And you
policy
oppose
has-
that. You've made your views clear on that so many times, that foreign policy is almost irrelevant. Although you could say that George Bush became very unpopular towards the end. He was very unpopular, and that could be due to how the Afghanistan and Iraq were going. But in general, I agree with you. But yeah, I mean, anyway, this was a governor race in California, and it clearly didn't impact that. And Biden went and rallied for, not rallied, but what's it called?
I think it had more to do with a lot of people, like national issues and Trumpism, and the fact that Californians got scared that shit, Larry Elder might get into office. Because if it was just like, if it became a referendum on Gavin Newsom, he would have probably lost because of his extreme lockdowns, and because he gave the Hollywood and tech industry, basically they could work, but the small businesses couldn't work and all that. So I think it national issues. But yeah, foreign policy, I don't know. Even George Bush one, I don't think it had more to do with, I think,
his stupidity.
Just his stupidity, the economic crash, 8 years of not more than 8 years, because Clinton was really a continuation of George Bush and Reagan years. So I think it had more to do with that, and Obama change and all that. But yeah, that's, I mean, who knows though.
Actually, we're going to talk about George Bush again in one of the other tweets. Hands down, one of like, besides having all the other issues that normal politician has, all their flaws, he's like straight up a dumbass on like in like a very obvious way on top of that. Like stupid.
There is one person that really tops him in terms of like dumbass. Like not Trump is a stupid bully, but no, what's his name? The Texas guy. Energy secretary. Rick Perry.
Yeah, he was up there too.
Oh man, SNL, Bill Hader did this Rick Perry impressions, and they crack me up so much. Like, he's just this like completely this basically dumbass. Like, he didn't know nuclear bombs and nuclear stuff was part of energy department's portfolio. This is after he became like the secretary. But
yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next tweet. And this one is Cenk announcing that Nina Turner is now part of the TYT family. So she's gonna regularly guest host a bunch of different TYT shows. So she seems like she's gonna be relatively active. Now she is, as much as TYT is hated nowadays in like a segment of the online progressive world, she was pretty liked, at least leading up until she lost it in the election. I think she is still pretty much liked too. So I'm curious to see how this is going to happen, if it's going to ignite some interesting conversations on TYT, if it's going to make some nice stories for us to talk about. I mean, the pessimistic people and the cynical ones I've seen, they're like, she's just going to become like TYT and say TYT stuff. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, well, I really don't know how this is gonna be. I have a feeling it might just be like nothing. She might not do that much, and it won't be anything interesting. But maybe, maybe it'll be interesting. She's a bit different
I've
than people they've had that has joined recently. I mean, she's not. Yeah, she's like a different background, someone who's been in politics, someone who wants to continue being in politics. But yeah, any kind of takes. I mean, it's too early for me to have any kind of. I'm curious. Wait and see.
Yeah, I found it odd, to be honest, because Jimmy Dore actually played this video. His wife played this video on their channel that she was saying, Nina Turner was saying that Jimmy says what I can't say or something, which seemed to be from the recent campaign for the senatorship. So like, it's just, I don't, yeah, I don't know if you can balance that, but it would be like, the thing is, I think, to be fair to her, she did have some podcast of her own and stuff,
Yeah.
but like they never, her own channel and stuff never really took off in terms of like, I think so. This is a good move practically for her, and I don't think she would have to. I don't know. I don't know what's in her contract, but I doubt she'll be forced to censor herself.
No, no, and
They
I mean,
might
this
not
is
renew her contract after a while, but
she probably won't want to. I'm guessing this is just like, to fill in the gap
stepping
until
a
her
stone.
next, yeah, campaign
Yeah.
or something. But I mean, they're still pretty
Mm.
much one of the bigger platforms. But what's interesting, I remember back then I was seeing some videos with her when they held like town halls and stuff for her on TYT, and they didn't do that well, the videos. But I think that's because the nature of the video. So I think when she starts getting her opinions out there, if she possibly starts saying stuff about the Democrats, that could attract again, maybe TYT will gain back a few of their viewers or something. A few of, the hardcores, so to speak, who have lost interest in TYT. But yeah, we shall have to wait and see if anything interesting comes out of here.